Democrats starting to embrace health care while out on the campaign trail for the midterms. This as many Republican candidates have shied away from attacking Obamacare after the GOP-controlled Congress failed to repeal the program. Joining me now, Adrienne Elrod, former director of strategic communications and for Hillary Clinton, I should say, and Leon Wolf, he's the managing editor at The Blaze. So I've been looking at this issue for a while because I have felt that Republicans are sort of leaving some room for them to be attacked because healthcare is such an important issue. Then this poll just out from the Kaiser poll, so maybe I'm wrong here, the percent of registered voters who say healthcare is a top campaign issue, Democrats say 30%, Republicans 15%, and Independents 19%. So, Adrienne, let me start with you. Do you think that this is an issue that Democrats can count on as they head into this midterm?
I certainly do, Dana, and all you have to do is look at the governor's races in Virginia and New Jersey to see that this will be a huge issue going into the midterms. This is the #1 issue that voters cited, Democratic voters cited, coming out of exit polls: health care, protecting health care, keeping the mandate, fixing Obamacare but not repealing it. So I think all we have to do is look at the precedent that has been set in 2017 as we go into the 2018 midterms.
Leon, Josh Kraushaar from the National Journal went to New Jersey last week, and he hung out with a Republican and a Democrat who are vying for a congressional seat there, and he wrote this, that it's a remarkable shift for Republicans who have been running against Obamacare as a key campaign plank in the last 4 elections. Without Democrats in power and after a failed attempt to repeal Obama's signature accomplishment, Republicans now are bearing the brunt of the public's fickle mood towards the nation's health care system. What do you hear out there outside of the Beltway?
Well, you know, I do think for the most part this upcoming election is going to be a referendum on Trump. And I think that if the economy continues to do well and foreign policy stays relatively quiet, I think they have a decent chance of holding the House. But with respect to health care, I do think it's going to be a much bigger issue in 2020 than it is in 2018, because the Republicans, when they passed the tax bill and they removed the individual mandate, kind of, you know, spiked the football a little bit. They said, okay, we're done here. And they didn't, however, get rid of the pre-existing conditions portions of Obamacare. So they've set up a regimen now where you can wait until after you get sick to go buy health insurance. And it passed too late in 2017 to really affect premiums the way I think it's going to in 2019 and 2020. So I do think if they don't come back to the table and fix something in the next 2 years, it could stand to be an election-changing issue in 2020.
It's very interesting. I wanted to ask you about one other thing, which is the youth vote is always this elusive vote, and they never vote in as big a numbers as you anticipate or that they say that they're going to. But this year, I don't know, perhaps it's different. A Harvard poll talking about millennials voting. Overall, 37% of Americans under 30 indicate they will definitely be voting this year, compared to 23% who said the same in 2014 and 31% in 2010. And Adrienne, I just know that for both parties, but certainly for the Democrats, signing up young people to vote has been a really key, important part. And is that something that we're not talking about enough, that this could actually have an effect in November?
Well, I think you bring up a really interesting point, Dana, because I don't think we're talking enough about it. I mean, if we drive up numbers of young people to register to vote and vote for the first time in the midterm elections, if we really increase that number by, let's say, 15 or 20% from the last midterm election, and if a lot of those voters are voting for Democrats, that's a huge boost to any Democrat on the ticket. So, again, I think that, you know, the gun safety issue, that's certainly been no secret that millennials have been very concerned, and those who have voted in some of the 2017 special election and midterm elections have cited that issue, gun safety, as their #1 issue. And of course, at all these gun safety marches across the country, voter registration has been a key component to those marches.
Leon, I'm sure that Republicans aren't going to cede this ground, but do you think that they have a program that is going to be able to match the Democrats?
Well, you know, I think it's a little bit of a mixed bag when you look at kind of the youth vote news. I mean, I saw a poll from Reuters Ipsos about a week ago that talked about how Democrats are losing support among, you know, voters ages 18 to 31. They have gone from 56 2 years ago to 46 now. And for the first time in a long time, young voters view the GOP as the more trusted party on the economy, which is, of course, a huge deal, and probably in peacetime is always going to be the #1 issue. So as long as that continues, and it did say that, you know, the young voters disapprove of Donald Trump by something like 65%, but that's not bleeding into the rest of the party. They still view the GOP as relatively the same favorability as the Democrats. So it's a mixed bag, I think.
Because of that live event, I'm running out of time. Adrienne Elrod and Leon Wolf, thanks for being here.
Dana, thank you.
The U.S. pulling back from the brink of a trade war with China as both sides agree to put tariffs on hold. How American farmers could be big winners in the latest deal.